hey, we're a brewery and our business plan is to be the best brewery in Tennessee. By the way, we also make pizza and we got to make excellent pizza. And we make cider, and cider's not exactly beer, and that comes out of a cidery, but we also make non-alcoholic tea.
What the fuck are we?
We have our own maintenance department. By the way, there's a different company over here that does general contracting. And we also have an ice cream shop. Should we bring this in-house?
We came a long way, that's what the song say. And I could do all things, I could do all things. Yeah, I could do all things, yeah. We came a long way, that's what the song say. And I could do all things, I could do all things. I can do all things, yeah. I'm not afraid of the moment, I'm not afraid I can't hold it. I gotta show 'em, gotta get up in the morning. I gotta do it for Kobe, lately I'm zoning. Lately I know where I'm going, taking whatever control is. Show me opponents, show me opponents. I got a gift and I'm starting to own it.
Fuck it, I'm gonna do it myself. So the story with Drew is actually we hired a bartender.
Just met this guy, Wes. He's opening a brewery. Those first shifts were basically like, he'd call me after I'm working for 2 or 3 hours. He's like, what's the sales look like? I'm like, been reading a book for the past couple hours. It was one of those things where it's just like I was keeping the other job and rolling with that.
He kind of casually mentioned like, yeah, I'm an artist on the side as well. And I said, hey, what do you think it would cost to paint this wall? And he said something like, probably $30,000. I was like, yeah, okay, cool. We're gonna continue bartending. I would be filling out the chalkboard and it would look like butt. Like it was not good.
He had this old, super heavy, shitty blackboard. I don't know what it was. There was just a spot where there's shelving out there that had this big board that was hanging there.
He'd say like, well, I can help. I'm like, no. Like, go ahead and keep it separate. We'll be okay. And so like, there were times where I was like, dude, there's literally nobody in the building. It would make me happy to write a better chalkboard.
And we painted it black and drilled a bunch of holes into it and put slats up. It was the first draft board. It was the first draft board.
So we tried to be really mutually respectful of each other, but also recognize like we might have an opportunity to do something more than just pour drinks. And as we grew and we had conversations of, hey, we got to pay somebody for 10 hours to do 10 hours worth of art this week. Can you bartend 10 hours less? And then can I pay you for 10 hours? And so we had a very push-pull, long growth, and that wouldn't have existed if he wasn't already an existing team member at the time. So part of that transition with like Drew as an example is we said, hey, we can have you do art, but I've got to pay for these labels. You got to do these labels too. So I can at least reduce my cost. And then what if we start doing what we call now paint by pint? Where once a month we'll get people in and you'll teach them how to paint.
The paint by pint classes have been pretty cool. I'm a doer, not a teacher. So that's fun.
And what's really fun about that story is I didn't realize the social anxiety that Drew carried at the time. And he was just like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And like did it because he understood what we were trying to build. There was a long conversation, like years in the making, and understood that like if he created something that generated revenue, he created a job for himself, which was a really unique position that he was in. So it was like, yeah, sure, I'll do a paint by pint class.
Everybody has fun in the class, but I go in and I warn them in the beginning. I'm like, hey guys, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So I'm gonna try to get you to figure out how to do this. I don't know how to teach you how to do this, but I'm going to try to show you how I did it. And I did it a month ago, so I don't remember how I did it. So let's all be confused in this together. Drink your beer. I'll sound smarter the more you drink.
Did we have enough demand in terms of art to be produced on a weekly basis that would fill his full-time work? And the answer was like, not for a really long time, right? So it was like, hey, we actually need 20 hours of art here. You got bills to pay, so we need you to be comfortable, playing in a hybrid role. And as the company grew, that was something that he understood and that was something that was working.
And, the art stuff started getting bigger and more. And then finally, he just offered me a position to take over. And we created the art director. We do labels in-house, posters, signage, murals, T-shirts, tap handles, scarves for the Mutt Club. I sew those. I make the patio enclosures, stickers, the mug of the month. I draw people's pictures, their caricatures for the mug of the month, the mud of the month characters, the slats for the draft walls, the boards for the draft wall every month. It's a piece of art that's just some kind of random thought from Wes's head every month. We have a paint by pint class. I've taken a roller and walked the parking lot and painted parking lot spaces. That was fun. It's like I'm a featured artist in a gallery literally every day. We can get more of our vision down quicker. You got another brewery that depends on, they want to do a T-shirt. They've got to submit, they got to submit an idea because they don't have the design most of the time. So they got to get the design, then they got to approve the design, then they got to send it back, and then they have to have the shirts printed, sent in. You got all that time that you're losing. We can think on the fly, we can change things up. And that's what's so cool. It's just like, it's the craft of it, just making it, minds coming together to put stuff together. When we started out, we were doing paninis with literal George Foreman grills. Like there was like 6 George Foreman grills back there, and people were just making paninis and popping them in the grills. That's it.
Strangely, pizza and beer really wasn't all over the place, and it is like everywhere else. So it was like, here's kind of a food void. Pizza is, it's one of those things where anybody can make pizza, not anybody can make great pizza.
We got the idea, Wes got the idea, why don't we do pizza? Cool, let's do pizza. You've done pizza before? Nope, we're just gonna figure it out.
I did a ton of research, talked to anybody and everybody I know that's ever been in some form of the pizza business, went to Pizza Expo, which is the largest pizza convention in the United States. I mean, really got to know the product and realized that there was an opportunity here to make a great product. It was kind of one of those things where the opportunity was there, and I knew that if we were going to do something that I wasn't an expert at, we had to do something different while I became an expert. We were working with any T-shirt vendor we could find, and the product and the process was just a fucking nightmare. So it was like, it's not that hard. We can figure out how to make T-shirts. I remember coming here one day, and by this point, Drew was full-time artist. And I asked him, and I said, hey, do you know anything about making T-shirts?
No, I grasp the concept, I think. I think I can grasp the concept, but no, I've never done it.
So I handed him my keys, and I was like, I bought a screen printing system, a whole setup, it's called a press, like a 6-screen press. I bought the screens, I bought the dryer, I bought fucking everything. The guy's in Louisville, and he's expecting you to show up today. And this is 10 in the morning or whatever. And he's like, today? I was like, yeah, please, here's my keys. I'll be here when you get back. Goodbye.
Cool, I can do that. And there was a lot of growing pains with it, but we figured it out.
We had no conversations about what we were gonna do, how we were gonna do it, any of that stuff. It was just fuck it, we'll figure it out.
And then we started, doing just about everything.
That was 4 or 5 years ago. And even now, that has gone to the point where we've hit a maximum threshold where it's, hey, we're able to do this, we're able to do it well, but now the volume is such that maybe we do need to bring this out so that we can make a consistent product. Cider was a story where, despite filling our draft wall with all of our own beers, we didn't make cider. It's a different license, it's regulated differently, different license at the state, different license federally, and we carried a guest cider handle. And we kind of at the same time, between here and Music Row, the sales rep for the cider at Music Row came in and said, hey, really appreciate your business. Did you know that you're our #1 tap handle in the state of Tennessee? And we're like, no, we didn't know that. He's like, yeah, you sell more cider at this location than literally anywhere else in the state. This is a huge cider company, and they're big in Tennessee. And I was like, damn, we sell a fuckload of cider. And then like shortly after, had that conversation with the rep for the cider at HQ, and we said, hey, can you believe this? And like, yeah, it's the same for us. So like the top 2 cider companies in the state, we were their #1 tap handle, just at different locations. And so we were kind of joking about it, and then we had kind of one of our weekly meetings, and it was like, y'all, we gotta make some fucking cider. Learned how to make it, sourced the best apples. I mean, just full investment. Let's do this, let's do it better, and let's do it in a way that we're proud of, that sticks true to our ideals. I think we did that. It took a long time, but we did that.
Not all breweries have marketing managers at all. So I'm super grateful that we really value that and that awareness and that digital effort in getting the word out about Tailgate. We move really fast around here, if you haven't noticed. But that means that I'm here, and if a beer is not gonna go out, the public is gonna know about it within 2 hours. That's really hard if you don't have your marketing in-house. You have to contact someone, they have to get you something to review, you have to approve it, edit it, whatever, go back and forth, and then put it out to the public. It's a really fast process here. I'm here, I'm always in the tap rooms. I can always go grab photos of the gummy worms that we're putting into whatever boil, that wild beer that we're making. It takes a lot of content. It takes a lot of time and thought and effort and planning into distilling all of the stuff that we have going on, which is 200 beers a year, at least 12 new pizzas every year, and all of the events and all of the new beers and all of our core beers that we want to sell, and just our brand in general, even down to like hiring. Taking all of that information that's floating out there that needs to somehow get to the public and channeling it into, okay, here it all is in this consumable package for you. We have a lot of things going on, and so communicating that is just truly a full-time job. And so being able to do that quickly and efficiently and in a way that feels like Tailgate, because it's coming from a Tailgate employee, I think is a huge advantage. We are big believers in consistent content. Like I would say sometimes breweries aren't like posting every day or more than once a day, but we have just so much to communicate, so much, that sometimes I'm like trying to balance like, whoa, I can't post like 5 times a day, like I need to, but I think it's keeping it really consistent, because if you're not there on their feed, like they're not thinking about you, you gotta be there.
Hey, my name is Mark Horsewood. Another thing we do here at Tailgate in-house is do our own laundry. Like and subscribe for the video, and we'll see you next time.